Saturday. It's Chris and Cassie once again with SONday Chronicles. This is episode 16, and as you can see, the title is The Land of Is.
The merry old land of Is.
Yeah, so Chris and I were just talking earlier. He said he wanted to do a video randomly. Yeah, a video randomly, and we talked a little bit about this concept, the Land of Is. So I'll just let Chris actually start it off because it's just some thoughts that he was having, and I mean, kind of guess by the name, the Land of Is, we're gonna be tying things back to the Land of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz, excuse me.
Or the Land of It. Yeah.
So go ahead, Chris. So some topics in this video just to kind of give an overview. So we're going to be talking about
the journey from the head to the heart, and the relationship between the Wizard of Oz, the yellow brick road. So the journey from the head to the heart, selfishness, selflessness.
So we're going to be talking, that's a basic overview.
Yeah, ego, empathy.
Yeah.
So kind of keep that in mind the whole time. The very beginning of The Wizard of Oz is...
and this is a great topic, too, because I think it's kind of a holiday movie.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people like to watch it. It's always on special and on cable
kind of
and all that
like
stuff.
I said last week, or the last video, it's right in front of your face. What we talk about, a lot of people think is deep. And yet, every year of your life, you've watched The Wizard of Oz at Christmas time. And they're trying so hard with their message to...
And there's different interpretations of
Sure.
it. And that's actually what we're going to be talking about is our interpretation of
Yeah.
The Wizard of Oz.
And...
But you can take so much from it, even the very intro of Wizard of Oz. The
professor,
the writing that comes up talks about Isis
and Osiris, and if you want to go back in Egypt and study that, it's a
really good,
very
interesting place to start looking up spirituality and kind of where life comes from and all that stuff. So, but Wizard of Oz starts that way, so that caught our eye right away this last time we watched it, because we never had viewed Wizard of Oz this way. And then we started seeing, we just read about Isis and Horus and Osiris, and it's in the beginning of Wizard of Oz. So that piqued our interest, and then we kind of discovered some more.
So the beginning, he has the crystal ball, and he says to Dorothy, close your eyes so I can become more in tune with the infinite. Meditation. That's what he was talking about. I think that the tornado is a perfect representation of the journey from the head, the ego, the selfishness, tornado, and notice everything. Even the path is not straight. It's because everything is a circle, and those spheres
and it's infinite.
Yeah, and it's infinite, and the journey from the head to the heart. Let's talk about the characters let's talk about her shoes.
Okay.
Red ruby slippers, root chakra.
Is red.
Glinda the Good Witch, you've had the power all along, my dear. That's saying a lot about the actual path, and in that when
it's all within.
Yeah, when you no one can do it. No one can lead you to the promised land. That's why we're always.
That's why they can't sell salvation.
Yeah, you can't buy your way into heaven. It's an inward journey, not a gift after you pass. But the journey. Let's talk about where Oz lives. It's a green castle, which is the heart chakra.
The heart chakra is green. Color
it's green
relation. So we talked about the root chakra being red, like red ruby slippers.
Right.
The green heart chakra is Oz.
And that is the end of the journey, and operating from the heart space is the land of
is the promised land.
Yeah, that's
heaven.
And it goes into being a man or woman of the world, yet not in the world. The majority of the world operates from the selfishness aspect of it, the head, the ego,
the want, the desire.
Yeah, the more and more I've got to get better. The more and more and close you become to your heart, you realize you are perfect. You realize your purpose. You realize
you are a fragment of God.
Yeah.
And therefore you are perfect.
You are
made in the image of.
Yeah. And you've silenced the 50 to 70,000 pop thoughts that we talked about during our thought episode. And you're operating from here. You're operating from your intuition. You ever hear the phrase gut feeling? Mm-hmm. It's your heart. That's your actual heart feeling. And it was termed the phrase gut feeling, but when you're in your intuition, and whether you're
and it's your choice to fight against that intuition or not. And I think that's where it's hard to read because you're fighting against it so much.
Yeah.
Or
the Tin Man needed a heart. The Scarecrow needed a brain. The lion needed courage. Brain to the heart, and what it takes to take that first step. And to take the first step from the ego, you actually have to say and put all of your awareness, I want inner peace. You have to put all of your awareness in the land of Iz or the land of Oz or the operating from the actual heart. Takes a lot of courage to get there, because you're going to have to
going against the world. It feels like.
Yeah, you're going to have to. Well, you're going to
your own world.
Yeah, to get to your own world, you have to leave the world, and people are going to be like, "Well, where are you going? Why don't you want to be
me with you?"
Yeah, no, there's never a take me with you, but it's where you going. Why aren't you like the rest of us? Why?
I meant they're attracted. It's it's like, what is going on? What's different?
I think eventually, after people start to get the hang of what you're going through, it becomes sexy. It's starting to. You can see it. It's not scary anymore. It's actually become kind of attractive. But in the beginning, you're like, "There's no way I'm going to let go of all of my material
you don't realize
possessions."
You don't realize how much your life is full of desire and want and
more,
and how you really are attached to this material. And the thought of letting go of your ego is terrifying. And really search into ego, look up the definition, do those things, and just start pondering ego. It's a fascinating
become
topic.
Aware
that you have an ego
of it. Awareness is in everything that we talk about. It's being aware of yourself. Awareness. Since you've been a little tyke, you've had the question, is this really all that there is? I go to work, I come home, I'm tired, I'm an alcoholic because I can't stand my fucking job, and is this really all that there is? And no, it's not. That's a lot of people these days are moving to the land of Iz,
which is badass.
Yeah.
So again, the land of Iz is going from the heart self, your higher self, your heart self, finding inner peace. That's what
it's traveling from your ego, tornado.
And what's really cool, we were talking
peace.
About the chakra colors. There's colors and meanings and different things with each chakra. At the end of Wizard of Oz, they have the 7 horses of every color.
Yeah.
It's actually the color of all the chakras, which is the color of the rainbow. So
they're
however you want to take
that.
But it's a really cool way to look at Wizard of Oz.
It's a beautiful
really,
message.
Yeah, and it's awesome that it's on, and it's been on for however long every holiday. But it's a cool way to look at it, and that taking that first step on this path, on this journey to change yourself, look within yourself, face your demons, face what you don't like, what you're unsure about, your fear, everything. it takes a lot of courage.
You know, Cassie, one of the most cool things about the journey from the head to the heart is you don't have to pretend anymore. You don't have to pretend. Yeah. You don't, because there are a bunch of things. Name some things you have to let go of during this.
People, situations. Material. Money.
Want and desire of more of that.
Yeah.
Why would you have to let go of money? Is it part of the process?
Well,
of wanting more?
We've talked a lot about this. It's kind of a confusing thing because in this world, money is a tool. So thinking of tool to better yourself,
Are you saying letting go of worshiping money?
Yes, letting go of worshiping money, where it's the end all be all. Like
sure.
when we were talking before, is this all there is?
Yeah.
It's not all there is money.
And that goes.
Use money as a tool; it flows through you. We never
sure.
actually own money.
Yeah, people are clamping onto it as if it is theirs. Yet
it'll just drive you nuts.
Yeah.
You know,
so letting go of the worship of money, which is called consumerism.
Yeah.
Letting go of the material, thinking you need the newest thing to kind of keep up with the Joneses.
And what we're saying is this head to heart. This is part of it. It's not just I'm going to start using my heart more. I'm going to start feeling through my heart, like doing everything that way. Mm-hmm. It's not as simple as just convincing yourself of that. It really is this journey.
So the journey it's not something you could do overnight. In 2 days.
Who knows? I mean, I think that's not, life. It's the constant journey to get to that point.
It's not a 30-day challenge.
No, it doesn't just work.
So it's a commitment.
It's a commitment, yeah, and it's a commitment. People want inner peace. Of course, there's things you can do. Mindfulness, little steps here and there that'll bring you more peace. However, I mean, to start to find true inner peace, you can't just take a pill for it. You know, actually, you get far away from all that, but you can't. It's not
They'll
like
tell you can take pills for it.
Oh, that's true.
I was told, here, take this pill, you'll feel better, and what it did was numb me more. And it's
backwards, unfortunately,
because
you have to face on this path from the head to the heart. You're facing inner pain. You're going to face anger. You're going to face every emotion,
every fear,
every feeling, every question, all these things, and you have to face it, learn from it, work through it.
And it goes away.
And then it goes away. So it's one of those things, the sooner you start facing these things within you, it's easier to not easier, it's just they move quicker, you flow through them faster.
So what you're saying is
you take what you need from it and you throw it away.
Once the instance happens and you pass,
you're given a test.
The way to pass something is to find peace in it.
And we're talking about some situation that doesn't feel good, or something
that happens to you, running from
people, or whatever it may be.
If you allow life, you project, and you're in the moment. In the eternal now is the land of is, and you can live there. You can live there. It takes a lot of practice to stay in the eternal now.
You have to let go of who you once were.
Yeah.
Basically, it's...
You gotta forget your identity.
Yeah.
You have to...
understand that this is a vehicle. Our body is a vehicle. We're soul, we're spirit.
And that our higher selves are all one, experiencing itself through the individual selves. Yeah. And the journey from the head to the heart is figuring that out.
I feel like that was like a book title or a movie, The Journey. I don't know.
This could be our second movie.
Yeah.
So
but you'll see. I'm sure there'll be more movies and there's more things out there that mirror this journey from the head to the heart.
Yeah, and also if you make the commitment and you say, okay, I'm seeking inner peace. I've been practicing mindfulness, but I want to go the whole route. That the moment you say that and you mean it, because when you talk to yourself, who are you talking to? Your higher self. You're talking to God. You're saying these things over in your head,
You're going to be given everything you need to start the journey. At that point.
And right out of nowhere, it's going to come to you. Okay, you want inner peace? Here you go. Handle this first. So, allowing that, facing it, going through it.
Fear, anxiety, depression, all those things go away. That's inner peace. Inner peace is
understanding the further you go to inward. Heart, to inward. Life wasn't meant to be a punishment, and yet people, the majority of the world, choose to live
like it is,
like it's a punishment, and then complain about it when you have the capacity to project what you want and eventually live it.
Unfortunately, we're in a society and in a world that shuts that down. I mean,
thinking for yourself.
Thinking for yourself is shut down. You're supposed to be a mold of everyone else in this perfect society.
You're supposed to,
bullshit. That's not.
What are the oblongs called? The Debbies. You're supposed to be a Debbie and be better than.
You're just a carbon copy. You're not supposed to be yourself, and
you'll notice those who've made that decision.
It's the people that stand out in a room. It's the people you can feel their energy. It's different.
High vibrational people, and
you look at people who are really look at all the creatives out there. I mean, it's a lot of people.
When we talk about purpose, I kind of wanted to clarify something. Your purpose is, the arts are a big thing, and there's so many things from carpentry to engineering to creating shit. It don't have to be just a painter or a sculptor or whatever. The musicians, poets. That's purpose, and that purpose, or chefs. Food is a huge. It makes you feel good, and there are chefs out there that get this, and that's why they're at the top of the game.
Your purpose could be. Your purpose could be working on cars. It could be because that's where and things that make it's basically fulfilling what makes your heart feel good.
Cassie told me this story the other day of this young man, and she knows his mother, and they were talking about going to school to become an engineer. And because that's where the money's at,
well,
blah, 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 blah.
That's what the son wanted. He was like thinking, and his mom...
Living through his parents, maybe, wanting to make them happy? Or
yeah, I think that's what it was. It was basically... I just thought it was a beautiful story because... Yeah. So, this boy who's going off to college wants to be in engineering, but his math's probably not there as much as it needs to be, but he's thinking that's where the money is. I need to go there. When his heart, he works on his car every day. He's so good with cars that his mom is not pushing him to go to engineering. She's telling him, this is your one chance to follow your heart. Do what you want. You love cars.
Yeah.
And so it was a beautiful example of
non-indoctrination.
And
yeah.
And I was so surprised by that story, and I thought it was so beautiful. I was just like, wow, that is so good to have him follow his heart.
Yeah, a parent actually listening to their child, and it's just when you see those type of things, that's badass. And that guy, he'll probably end up with being as whatever he wants to be in the car field. He could create a new piece of a car that helps it run off of water.
I know, that's what I was saying. There is engineering out there. But anyways, it was just a great... that's following your heart.
Yeah.
That's purpose.
So on the journey from the head to the heart, you've got the tornado. And that's the spiral effect of, all these little things you've been
chaos.
running from being comfortable. And when I say you choose to live not in the land of is, but in the land of chaos, it's called comfortable chaos. A lot of people, they're cool with that.
And until you learn the lesson, it's this spiral, because until you learn a lesson from a situation, you're going to keep banging your head on the brick wall. You realize the brick wall's you.
Yeah.
We've talked about this
Somebody
before.
asked me one time, how did you get to this point? And I said, I continued to hit my head up against the wall over and over again until one day I realized I was the wall. And I was like, okay.
It's me. You've had the power within you all along, my dear, as Glenda the Good Witch
I've
said.
had the power.
The same. We all have it.
Yeah, okay. So stay in the eternal now as best you can. Start practicing that.
You can feel. You start vibing and flowing with the earth.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You start.
The land of is where I live. But it takes practice. The land of is living through the heart.
The now. Yeah.
And the empathy comes along with it, and the compassion for humanity, and the unconditional love
and the
comes
understanding that everyone's on their own journey and they're doing the best they can.
Respect.
And those there are others who run from it.
And if they're running from it, man, you got to run from them. And that's unfortunate, because a lot of people think they're here to have the most friends, which is bullshit, because you're not here to have.
Big part of letting go.
You're not here to have the most friends. Your soul family will come, and your soul family won't judge, and they won't belittle, and they won't be assholes, and
it's not all about how drunk you get together and all this stupid shit that doesn't matter.
It ain't about that anymore. It's about what can we do to help better the world? Can we support one another? Is there anything that I can do for you? Our soul family's slowly but surely trickling in, and what's up to everybody? You know who you are. It's beautiful. Things are starting to click.
And that's all because, you decide to take the first step into a journey from your head to your heart and really live your life as your higher self and attempt that journey, because it's a constant journey. I feel it's infinite. So all you do is keep more and more layers, and learning more, and realizing that maybe it doesn't all matter, and then maybe it does matter, and it's this constant, beautiful.
You never know.
Thing,
It's
and that's the purpose of life to me, is discuss this. To discuss things
why
like
wouldn't
this.
you
That's why
wanna
we have
know?
these discussions with you all. I mean, we don't plan these, as you may be able to tell. It's just like we just start talking, and this is
our purpose in life is to, sun, mind, and body with public speaking. We're eventually going to be doing more and more episodes, hopefully on a television channel one day. I want to do radio. I want to do books. We're gonna, whenever I get some time, I'm gonna have music, and all of it's gonna be many mediums in one message. It's the same message over and over and over again, just from different creative standpoints. That's our purpose. This is part of our purpose, and how we get these ideas is that it'll hit me, and I'm like, okay. And then it's not an instant thing. Sometimes we wait 2 or 3 days. And I believe that I'm giving these things just to make sure that I understand them.
So we just like to talk through it.
Yeah.
These questions that come up in our heads, and we were somehow, a seed was planted in our head, and now all we're doing is planting seeds, and everyone who's watching to just learn and explore yourself.
Like Tupac says, I'm not here to change the world. I'm here to spark the mind of someone who might. And
that's all we're doing. It's all life is. Live. Learn, unlearn, teach, and teach each other. It's talking a little bit on learning. I think that would be a good
unlearning.
Yeah, that's the hardest part of this tornado.
Step 1.
Yeah, this tornado, this winding yellow brick road we've been talking about since the beginning. Thank you.
Hey, we've drank all of it, but
the best.
The best.
You should try it.
Trader Joe's.
But no, this journey is all about unlearning what you thought you knew. Everything that you've been told.
You might have heard us talk about indoctrination.
And it's getting rid of that too. So that's the hardest part, and why it feels like a tornado. It's tough. It's tough.
Someone once said, use the brain you were given, not the one you were taught to use. And
it's like you go through all these years of learning, and really you realize after it all you've done.
At the education system right now, and bless all the teachers out there doing that thing, is a memorization of stuff.
It's learn what's out, don't look what's in.
But
people are trying.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah, people, and I'm not knocking the neurosurgeons out there that have to go to school and memorize all that stuff and help people. I'm cool with the education system, but I think that like I'm always talking about balance. I think that if you threw some metaphysical into the children, there are a lot of schools out there doing meditation programs. I saw a thing today. It was detention is now meditation at the school, and it's fucking working wonders.
Of course it is.
And
because when you meditate, when you go inward, meditation eventually, as tough as it starts off, it's still something that I have to work on, really, is to silence my mind. But once you start doing that, that's a step, because you start to almost force yourself to look inward, because
you're going to want to know more.
You're going to want to know more. You will start getting little experiences it's leading you to look. It's like a little breadcrumb path, it's like leading you a little bit more.
Because you're only given what you can handle.
Yeah.
And you can't, if you were to get all this at one time, your head would explode.
Yeah. It'll come to you at the time it's supposed to, but your job is to accept it, not to ignore it.
And to ask and say.
And before you went on this journey, you were ignoring it.
Yeah. I'm ready. And, you have to be ready. I think that's, don't do it because everybody thinks it's the cool thing. And this is something else I want to talk about. The word spirituality is a great word. But, damn it, we're all spiritual. I don't give a fuck.
It's just
whether you're a Muslim or a Christian or a Jewish person or whatever. We are all spirit, and you're on your path whether you know it or not.
One often meets its destiny on the road it takes to avoid it.
Yeah, often meets its destiny.
That would be Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda knowledge right there.
It's the best. Anyways, but
say
it's
it
true.
One more time.
Oh gosh.
Is Oogway, he says.
Oogway from
one often
meets his destiny on the road that he takes to avoid it.
Yeah, and listen to the wisdom of Oogway.
Yeah, Disney has it all the time. But yeah, this
journey of the head to the heart.
It's a tough one.
Wizard of Oz, the land of Iz where you end up living.
Yeah. Strive to be at the land of Iz.
Bless up to all the people out there that are sharing conscious knowledge. You see it more and more every day. And it's beautiful how it's happening. And I talk about the shift, and we've recently hit a point of today's energy port off the chain, especially tonight.
Did you wrap up why you felt that way about spirituality, though?
Spirituality, it's simply, people use that shit as like a fucking
bad.
I'm a spiritual gangster. Yeah. Listen, we're all spiritual gangsters. The only difference is some of us know, and some of us remember, and some of us have forgotten.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, we're all super beings.
Because when you truly find yourself, and I'm sorry if I cut you off.
Go.
When you truly find yourself, you're not out there wearing a badge that says I'm spiritual. You don't have to. You don't have to, first of all, because you embody who you really are. But you just do what you need to do. It's not about labels. It's not about... And you start seeing everything as a label, so it's kind of confusing.
Yeah.
But you kind of see spirituality as a label.
Because the world is...
But we have to. Yeah. But we all use labels to describe,
people label themselves.
Yeah.
You hear me say Christian conservative all the time. Some people think that's a negative term, and those that deem themselves that don't. So... I'm saying it because you're calling yourself that. If you want to label yourself, and then that's a good way to. That's a really smart thing. If you label yourself, if you've labeled yourself something, those are things you're going to have to let go.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, just with at least the way I grew up too, which I'm grateful for everything, but it was all about be the best you. Every sport, I was in sports and different activities, kind of. All they do is promote labels and, and things
healthy
like
competition is great.
But healthy competition is great, yeah. But
and
I don't really know where I was going with that.
No, sports, no. Especially, look at these. There's a lot of children's football programs where the dads who never made it to the pros take it out on the fucking kids. And you see these beauty pageants with these little people. That's
separate. There's no heart there.
Yeah, it's all ego,
ego, and that's all from here. That's all here.
There's no empathy there.
It's that competition.
Some of those kids don't want to fucking play football. Some of them don't want to. They don't want to do it, but they do it because everybody else is doing it. And you know.
So learning from a young age, kids know how to go just from heart.
Yeah,
and I think children, when they lose their essence, that's kind of when that goes back. So it's a process of remembering. We're spiritual beings. It's a process of remembering that. It's a process of remembering to go to live from your heart, because we come from the land of Is. You can return, you know.
Yeah, so. That's badass. We were originally, before we were here in the land of Is.
We can find a fragment of it here.
And then you find it. It's like you're on your game tonight. You're helping me understand things. So what she said was, we come from the land of Is before we even get here, and then the part of the game is to realize that you can be that again here,
and continue on.
That's beautiful. Head to the heart. Yeah. What about the movie? Striked you? We talked about the movie.
We talked about all that.
Follow the Yellow Brick Road.
But it's just a cool way. It's a cool way to look at Wizard of Oz. So there's many different interpretations of it, but for us, it was that journey from head to heart.
Yeah.
It's that tornado. It's turbulence, and it's crazy when you take the journey to find yourself and look within and live from your heart only. And the Wizard of Oz has so much of that within it that we just find it fascinating. All the chakra colors and all that.
All the beautiful ways they were trying to share that message. And
especially the message in the beginning, like we had talked about, talks about Isis and Osiris, and it's really cool.
Go study some Egyptian stuff.
Yeah, but that's all I had for the land of Is.
The land of Is. A lot of people are moving there. We look forward to seeing you.
Hope to see you there soon.
And
great weather.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have a good night.
How do you turn it off?